Welcome back, travelers, to Legendary Lore, where today we're going to be talking about a very special episode that actually came out right before June started up, called Note for a Stranger, which I'll be referring to as the Huatli episode for the purposes of labeling this whole deal, but it's more about the Traveler's Notice Board and how it was used to bring two particular planeswalkers together.
It's not like Huatli's going to get her own episode anyway, so this is the best we can do.
Yeah, unfortunately, Huatli didn't do much in the stories anyways.
What did Huatli do? Ride a dinosaur. Okay, what about War of the Sparks? She summoned a dinosaur. Okay, and then probably rode it.
Yeah, and left the dinosaur in Ravnica so that there would be dinosaurs on Ravnica.
Oh, I can't wait to go back to Ravnica.
So, basically, the way the story starts off is it introduces a brand new thing that is so cool to me. When I read this, I thought, this is amazing. This is so cool. It's called the Traveler's Notice Board. So it's literally a notice board for our viewers, first of all. So awesome in that regard.
That is awesome.
But it says that it is called the Traveler's Notice Board. It is warded from rain, time, and those lacking a Planeswalker's spark. So it's just a board, like a really big board in the middle of a public area, in a public square, and there's like a little bit of ivy around the place and some shade and a bunch of stuff like that. But it's just a board where you can just go there, and if you're a planeswalker, you can put things like you're from Craigslist or something, and just put something up. So, like, for instance, there's actual examples. One says 2 extra tickets to the championship singles match of Valor's Reach. It's on the next planar quarter moon. Leave your planar contact address below if interested. Perfect. Just that little bit right there. You already see some little story. There's someone who's, because obviously this is Valor's Reach. We don't really see mention of Valor's Reach all that often if you're not talking about the 2 twins. So that's cool in itself. The idea that there's a next planar quarter moon, so they have a way of measuring time that is unique to planeswalkers. They have a specific moon that they use.
Because all planes have different times.
Yeah, exactly.
That is cool.
So they have like a specific, the quarter moon, like the planar version of that, so that the standardized time, and leave your contact address. So like whatever plane you tend to stay at, that's your contact address. I'm going to go to this plane and I'll find you that way. And then the next one, Lost, a tie clip, Silver Beetle. Last seen, Whisperer's encampment on Calcisma Mountains, Tarkir. Return at once. Will trade 20 units of Halo. Leave under violin case in New Capenna. So there's a Capennan planeswalker who went to visit Tarkir.
Lost his tie clip. And is willing to trade the rarest thing on Capenna for it.
And what's awesome is it's a Silver Beetle, meaning that we have an idea that this is like a high-class dressed character. So he's very possible he could have been Maestros. He might have been maybe a broker. The reason I say those two is because we know they're at the Whisperers encampment, which is Teamer. So we're seeing like these two different groups kind of meeting each other across these planes. And the next one is hilarious because you have to know some background to know what's going on. But the next one says, for a good time, go to this particular location in Paliano Fiora. Do you know who that is, Joe?
Is he dead?
It is dead. He is dead. It's
okay, so that is Dak.
It's Dak. It says it's an old sheet of paper torn by years of weather.
Aww.
So
as soon as you said Fiora, I'm just like, Fiora, good time. Aw.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty great. Those are just some of the examples. But then we get the actual plot of the story where Huatli sees seeking raw copper. Will trade currency of choice in exchange for discretion. And then Huatli responds by saying, is there an appropriate location to trade if interested? So basically what they do is they go back and forth, this correspondence between H and R. H being Huatli, R being this unknown planeswalker. Right?
Yeah.
So basically, as they're going around, there's this little box, and they're going back and forth. And R informs Huatli, hey, if you just write your name on this box, and you'll be able your initials on this box, and it'll undo the wording that's on it, and you'll be able to put whatever you need into it, and it'll lead straight to me. So this is an inventor of some sort, and it's all like very specific. So Huatli's like, "Are you a spy?" And they say, "I am a very authentic spy. Also, you forgot to mention how I should pay you." And they said, as a very authentic secret agent who had inspired you to become a tool of the state. So basically, they just are going back and bantering. And obviously, I'm not going to go through their correspondence because you guys should read this story. It's such a fun story. So it goes back and forth, and they have like this little bit about how R is an agent and how the other one is definitely an agent. And then H is like, well, you're a liar because you're obviously not a secret agent because of this or that. And I like all this other stuff. They keep going back and forth, and it's just adorable. It's fantastic. But eventually, the two of them decide to meet, and they've basically just been messaging this entire time on this board, right?
So they made this one relatable.
Yes, and so because they've been messaging the way they have, they finally they had to decide. Okay, we're going to meet in Ravnica at this location, and we're gonna have like dinner essentially. Huatli is super nervous. She's got like a new like setup that she just put on. She's looking the way she wants to look. She goes and she's like, okay, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna go to Yvetta's tavern. It's gonna be really nice, and I'm terrified. And basically, on her way over there, she sees Saheeli, and Sahili's like, "Oh, why are you, like, you look like you're dressed like a real Ravnican now?" She goes like, "I know you're not from here because you're smiling and all this stuff." And Huatli's like kind of trying to get out of this conversation with Saheeli, and Saheeli's doing the same thing because they're trying to both go off to whatever it is they're actually going to be doing on their own. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, "I'd love to catch up, but I gotta go." And she's like, "So do I." And so Huatli runs and leaves. And so he's like, "Yeah, I have to go do a few things before I go do what I got to do too." And so Huatli gets to the shop, and she sits down, and there's like the tinkle of the bell, and she kind of sits in a little corner, and she kind of just tries to avoid anyone because people kind of like, I mean, no one's really paying attention to her because she doesn't look like that anymore, right?
Yeah.
And what's funny is that like before they split ways, Saheeli was like, "I really enjoyed learning about dinosaurs." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that. We should do it again sometime." "Yeah, we should. See you later." And so, obviously, Saheeli comes into the tavern, and they both had this moment of realization. And she's like, "H is for Huatli," and she goes, "R is for Rye," and they're like, "Snip, it's you. You're the one I've been waiting for this entire time, and I ran away from you." And it's just a really nice moment where the two of them, they like kind of they are together. And it's as if the whole world disappears around them, and it's just a date, and that's all it is. And that's what it comes down to. And they're like, "Look, we should leave this place, and we should go somewhere else funner." And of course, the place that she says is funner is Capenna. There's this like, they have dancing all over the place for Capenna. There's like an entire group that does nothing but have parties. So it'd be really fun to go there.
That both of which fit into the color schemes?
Yeah, mostly, yeah. At least, like Saheeli, we've seen that she can be just red if you play her hybrid style. So sure. And I really do think that by having this whole story happen, it's going to result in Huatli regaining some of her red. Now, obviously, this does not show off the actual card itself for
Ricky,
Heartbeat of... Yes.
How mad would you be if Huatli ends up our Naya Planeswalker instead of a Johnny?
I'd be okay with it as long as it were good. I have not had a version of Huatli that I have been like, whoo, about, really. Like the red-white one I thought was really cool. I love the idea of like like not necessarily Latin American, but like a native character, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool to me. And it was the closest thing we have to representation.
You've also been wanting a Johnny to regain his red for the longest time, though.
I have wanted a Johnny to regain his red, but at this point, I understand that he's basically like firmly cemented in the mentor colors.
I know, but he's mentoring a red person.
Yeah.
His partner mentoring that red person's another red person.
I mean, his mentor was a red person with Sarkon, so there's that too. But yeah, it was just such a fun story. It's nice, and there's just little tidbits of just new things that flesh out the world. And just this artwork of Saheeli and Huatli together. One of them
like
has
an end
a filigree.
result.
Yeah, like Saheeli's got the filigree familiar. Huatli has her normal raptor, the one that I think proliferates the Huatli's raptor. And they're just together in the jungle, the mighty jungle, where the lions, where the Tyrannosaurus sleeps tonight. It's pretty cool. And I'm hoping that if we do go back to Kaladesh, because I expect we would go to Kaladesh before we go back to Ixalan, and that we would get to see dinosaur robots. That's what I want. That's what I'm expecting now.
Saheeli, why'd you make this? Because it's cool.
She goes, I was missing someone.
Dinosaurs are cool. You don't know me.
So yeah, it's a really nice short story. There's a lot more to it, like a lot of the romance. We don't really do romance. I mean, the closest thing we did was when we talked about Jace, and his whole deal was, I love you. Because he was...
Speaking of romance, this came out in the Pride set, which was a secret layer for Magic. What I don't like is that Chandra and Nisa got like a card. It shows that they're distant, but it's still implying just like, still there, and just like, Wizards doesn't know what to do with those two.
That's true. Wizards did. They firmly defecated in their own bed, and then they tried to say, oh, no, it's clean. And
yeah,
then...
basically, yeah, they were like, okay, yeah, we don't like Chandra with Nisa. You guys aren't really reacting to it. You guys are mad that we broke up Chandra and Nisa. They're gonna get back to no, you hate that too. What do you want from us? We want you to be consistent.
Yeah, consistency is what we want. That is what I want. And like the idea of Chandra and Nisa being together made a ton of sense because of the elemental aspects and
it's
the way
just
they
nobody reacted to it because we had a literal war going on the side that was building up. Just like, oh, cool, this is a romance. Yeah, it's awesome. There's a giant dragon building up to fight every planeswalker in existence in the greatest set that we've ever had. Sorry if you didn't get the reaction to what you wanted there, but what you wanted there was a really low priority.
Yeah. Well, the main problem is with Forsaken, where it was like, Chandra specifically says that she likes decidedly beefy male people like Gideon. And it was like, that flies in the face of several plot development moments for her character. Why?
Yeah.
But yeah. This one I think is going to stick. It's probably going to be their token relationship that's like going to be Planeswalker based. Since we is it Tomic? Tomic and
Tomic and Rao. They also got a card, which is really nice.
I love their card. It's such a good card, and it's just a peaceful moment. It's awesome. I love that. It's so good, so fancy free. But yeah. I feel like this is going to hopefully develop into something, and we'll get to see more of their actual characters interacting, because both of them are kind of side characters that were like this. That, or they're going to fridge Saheeli, and Huatli will become super upset and try to fight the Phyrexians. I guess we'll see.
Either way, yeah, relationship is, as much as it's a rider tactic, it is a good way to bring side characters into the spotlight. So good on them. I like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy Pride Month. This is going up during Pride Month.
Yeah, this is coming out tomorrow, I believe, for us.
The day after we record it, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's in June.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe to catch more, because we're about to do New Capenna finally.
Yes!
I'm back.
Yes. His shoes are no longer concrete. We're good now.
And yeah. Travel badly, or whatever Ricky says.
Well
what?
I'll push you into a well.